We're at the Washington Convention Center in Washington, D.C., attending CUNA's 2014 Governmental Affairs Conference. There's about 4,500 credit union attendees from across the country here, making it the largest credit union event of the year. And it's also the largest trade show of the year, too. Right through these doors over my shoulders, where everybody goes through to see that trade show and to hear all the great speakers like Tony Blair that we've had this week. We took a few minutes to talk to Vermont attendees that are here, about 30 or more of them that are here in total. Take a listen.
The energy is infectious. It's wonderful to have over 4,400 credit union folks in the same area. That energy is really, really incredible. Never been a part of anything like that, so it's been
The real
great.
highlights to me were the two keynotes. I thought that Tony Blair was fantastic, and Madeleine Albright was just really interesting and insightful. So I got a lot out of both of those. And actually, for me as a first-time attendee, just wandering the exhibit booth and seeing all the vendors, I was just fascinated as to kind of how the credit union industry works and all the behind-the-scenes companies that are helping to make it work. To me was a fascinating study.
There's nothing like having that one-on-one opportunity with the vendor who designs the software and is able to tell you what you as a credit union can do to adjust it, tweak it, to make it what you want and make it work for you. Because it gives every person here an industry-wide understanding and perspective. And that's important.
There's a lot more people here this year, which is nice to see. There is the young group, the Crashers, which I think is exciting. And I'm hoping that next year that every state has one. That would be really exciting. I just had a meeting with a woman from the World Council. We spoke about the orphanage in Africa that Joe Finnegan goes to, and in lieu of gifts at our annual meeting, we asked for donations, or we donated our money that we would give for gifts to the orphanage, and they found it rather interesting and wanted to know why we decided to do it.
The CUNA GAC conference is a must-do for credit union executives. The power of 4,000 credit union employees, volunteers, and supporters coming to Capitol Hill to tell our story, to further political advocacy is so important. We live and operate in a regulated and highly scrutinized world, and we need to stay on top of the legislative and regulatory climate we're in to make sure we have opportunities to serve members and be successful as organizations. That only will happen with organized and ongoing engagement efforts.
And I think at least there's a fair amount of credit unions that are very hesitant to reach out to their members and say, I want to inform you of a certain politician, of whether or not they're a credit union supporter. And they said, really based on the surveys that they've done, members want to know that information. They're really interested in supporting their credit union, not only in terms of products and services, but when it comes time to be in the ballot box, they're willing to take that extra step. So I think CUNA was encouraging credit unions to think out of the box. Think of ways that you can reach out to your members and softly put the message forward that this particular legislator has a history of supporting credit unions. He's interested in supporting you and your institution going forward. Please think when it comes time in the ballot box that you can vote for this candidate, because if you do, it'll send the right message to the candidate and it'll be an insurance that credit unions will be here for some time to come.
Partnering with other cooperatives. I love that idea. One of the speakers this morning, I think it was this morning, gave of partnering with not financial cooperatives. So it came to mind, of course, food co-ops, but Vermont has all kinds of other food co-ops, ag co-ops, fuel co-ops, things like that. The reason that idea excited me is because it drives home the idea of it being a cooperative. And again, it's another difference between banks and credit unions.
Well, I'm glad somebody else gets it.
Yeah, exactly. But projecting ahead, it wasn't just for me. I was thinking if we could do marketing or events with other cooperatives, it helps educate others. That's why I was so excited about it, because I think that, you know, if Hunger Mountain Co-op, or I don't mean to name names, but just if other co-ops in Vermont and we're all doing this big event, then people will start to associate, oh, see, that's another reason why credit unions are are special, different, and not banks?
I thought it was very encouraging that there were over 4,400 people there. There's a lot of issues that have to be addressed, and hopefully we'll be successful when we go see our congressman. Some of the sessions I went to in the afternoon on the supervisory focus and on the economic perceptions of not only CUNA but the NCUA were a little revealing, which is going to be very interesting because we do have an upcoming exam coming up. So we did receive a lot of good literature on what the NCUA is going to expect above and beyond their supervisory letter to credit unions that they sent out. So I'll be giving that to my staff when I get back.
It's all about coming together as a group of young professionals to see what the GAC is all about and to basically bring a younger face to the credit union scene. And I think it was awesome to come with a group of 45 young professionals who all love credit unions and want to make a difference.
It's always great to see the different groups of people that attend, from the crashers to the regulars that always attend. So you get a nice sense of camaraderie within the credit union movement. A lot of information regarding risk-based capital, don't tax your credit union. So there's a lot of outerlying issues that the credit unions really have to deal with. So it's important that we are here. It's extremely important that we all have one unified voice, and having as many people talk to our legislators, congressmen, senators is extremely important.
Exhibits was excellent. It was the biggest exhibit that I've ever seen since my visit. However, the thing that stood out to me was "Don't tax my credit union." Seemed to kind of be the loudest of all. And what a great job as credit unions we do.
This conference is always a special event because it gives some inspiration and demonstrates the magnitude of the credit union system within the U.S. Speaker-wise, the speaker lineup is always huge, and seeing Tony Blair and Madeleine Albright were probably the highlights. I mean, you talk about champions, and the history, the personal history that Madeleine Albright has lived through is phenomenal. I mean, her childhood memories from World War II certainly had an impact on what she brought to the table as our Secretary of State.
I think the keynote speakers are always really interesting to listen to, and they have some good information, even if it's not necessarily credit union related. I just enjoy listening to their perspective on different things going on in the world, and even if it is credit union related, it's always good information. The representatives know we're out there and what we're looking at and interested in, and make sure they realize that what they're doing for us is important. It makes a difference.
It was an incredible experience being new to the credit union movement entirely. This was a great experience to get to understand the power behind what the credit union movement is all about, and seeing all these people here together and getting up on the Capitol Hill was really fantastic. So have a deeper understanding and appreciation for the credit union movement on the whole. This is kind of unique to be able to get up here and meet the representatives and get their attention, even if just for a few minutes, for things like the data breach and some of the stuff we were able to talk about today. This was a very rewarding experience.
First time at the conference, first time in DC, and what a tremendous experience it's been. Getting to see all the people from across the country involved in the same cause, being passionate about what they do with credit unions and how the members are helped. And that's what it's all about, people helping out people, and just the beautiful architecture of DC and the layout. Just for me, it's been an incredible experience, one that I'll never.
I'd say certainly the speakers, the high quality of the speakers, especially Tony Blair this time around, Madeleine Albright, great insight. Couldn't have enjoyed them more. The other folks from my credit union that came along had the same thing to say about it. And I think hearing from other lawmakers is also important, and hearing how different lawmakers from different states support specific issues. Always good for us to hear, to understand who our friends are in Congress. This is my third Hill visit. And I think that even though a lot of times we have the same ask of our lawmakers and they have the same responses, I think it's very important that they hear that we are going to be persistent, that we believe in our movement, we believe in certain issues. I think that in and of itself is highly valuable, that we're not going away and that we'll be persistent.
Thanks very much for watching. We appreciate you joining us and hope that you can join us here in Washington, D.C. at the 2015 Governmental Affairs Conference next year.